Today we are going to look at staking, and lastly we're going to end with masternodes. Masternodes and staking are almost the same thing, so I decided to combine this class together. So let's start. So staking, if you can see my screen written staking, please thumbs up, because I can see from my other device it's lagging. Don't know why it's lagging. If you can see staking, okay, thank you. So staking in crypto is a process that involves committing your crypto assets to support a blockchain network and confirm transactions. So it entails rather locking up cryptocurrencies to receive rewards. So in most cases, you'll be able to stake your crypto directly from your crypto wallet, such as Trust Wallet, but also exchange platform also offers staking services to the users. So just to explain staking, to bring it more close to home, we can use an example of the bank. So in the bank where you keep your money, it's just staking is like in the bank, the way you'll keep your money, then they'll give you an interest based on what you had committed. So if there's someone who had kept 1 million in the bank, their interest will be higher than someone who has kept like 100,000 in the bank. So it's just the same thing. Based on the amount that you have committed, it will determine the interest that you'll get. So that's a simple way of explaining what staking is. Exchanges offer staking, and many people prefer staking on exchanges, but also cold wallets offer the same services. So remember we said not to keep your assets in exchanges, because we say exchanges are centralized and anything can happen. We've seen what happened with CBEX, but CBEX was a red flag from the word go. So instead of staking in exchanges, if you're deciding for it, let me explain. So if you've bought assets that you want to hold for a long period of time, like you are not intending to liquidate them very soon, then the wisest way to stake them is to stake them in a cold wallet. Let's say you don't intend to liquidate these assets in a span of 5 years. So the best way, or rather the most efficient and secure way to stake these assets is in the cold wallets. But if this is for short term, you're just looking to hold for a few weeks, few months, then you can stake in the exchange platforms. So what's the advantage of staking? If you're holding tokens for long term, it is advisable to stake them instead of basically just holding them. So it's advisable to stake them so that you can collect as you're waiting for that period to lapse when you liquidate your assets. Then you can be collecting some profits or some tokens of the staking option. So let's go on. Staking rewards are calculated using two mechanisms, the consensus mechanism, and that is proof of work and proof of stake. So in the proof of work mechanism, people compete to be the next to validate the new block of transaction by solving equations that require computing power. So the winners are rewarded with newly minted crypto. And what is POS, proof of stake? Proof of stake is a mechanism where validators are chosen to create new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency that they hold and they are willing to stake as collateral. So the difference between POS and POW is in proof of work, they are competing to solve an equation. So the one with the more computing power will be rewarded. But in POS, it's a mechanism used to also validate transactions, but this time we are not competing against computer power, but it will depend with the amount of money or cryptocurrency that I actually staked or I actually put as collateral in my staking pool. So the one who has staked a lot of money or more money will be the one to execute that process. Binance staking lets you earn rewards in utterly simple way. All you need to do is hold your coins on the exchange. So if you have coins that you are planning to hold for a long term, you can earn extra coins by staking them rather than just holding them. But just to mention something on POW and POS, I'll just go back to this part and say, I remember I told you guys that there's a whole full course on Kenya Crypto Magazine where we deal with where we talk about in depth, we talk about Web3. And in Web3, you will be able to learn in depth what we mean by POS and POW. You learn about nodes and all that. So just to navigate to that, I don't know why my net today is lagging. So if you come to the crypto education part, just navigate to Web3 and the blockchain. So under this part, there's a whole segment that is discussing POW, which is proof of work, and POS, which is a proof of stake. Before it loads, I have a question. Where do you think banks get money to reward you for putting or rather storing your funds with them? Where do you think banks, remember I've said staking is just like when you keep money in the bank, they'll give you interest based on what you had kept with them. So where do they get this money that they share with you as interest? Where do they get this money that they share with you with interest? As interest, I mean. Let me see here. So we can have, let's start with Pius. Pius?
Banks lend money to other people who pay some interest in return. So after so when you go to take your money back, it give you some interest after the other person has paid.
Yes. So in short, what Pius is saying, they get this money from loan interest. Loan interest is you'll go to the bank, take a loan, but when you're returning that loan, or rather when you're paying back that loan, you have to pay with interest. That interest now is what now will be distributed equally to those people who have kept money with that particular bank. Let's appreciate Pius. So just to come back to this, let me see if I'll spot it. There's a whole category that discusses POW and POS. It's called consensus mechanism, if I'm not wrong. Let me see. Cryptography, symmetric, digital. So if you want to understand in depth what we mean by POS and POW, just come to this part and you'll be able, can't really spot where it is, but it's somewhere in between this course outline. If you look at this course outline, you see that we are talking about blockchain architecture, types of blockchain, then we're having consensus in blockchain, POW and POS. So if you come to that part, you will be able to understand what is POW and POS. So just to navigate to the next slide, let me admit someone here. Just to navigate to the next slide, we are having another definition, a staking pool. So what is a staking pool? A staking pool is a group of coin holders merging their resources to increase their chances of validating a block and receiving rewards. So they combine their staking power and share the rewards proportionally to their contribution to the pool. Remember, you said that staking rewards are calculated using POW and POS. And you've said the main difference between POW and POS is that in POW, we are competing against who will solve these equations first, and hence the person with the highest computing power will be able to solve that equation fastest, and they will be able to be rewarded with newly minted crypto. But in POS, we are saying that the amount of cryptocurrencies that you're holding and you're willing to stake as collateral will determine your success rate when it comes to staking rewards. So the more money you put as collateral to this staking, then, or rather the amount of crypto you commit to stake, then you'll be considered more when these staking rewards are being given out. So let's say you don't have enough staking power. So what do? Combine your cryptocurrencies with someone else, put them together so that your strength cumulatively can be more, and in return it will enable you guys to be at an advantage place of receiving these staking rewards. And that is basically what we are calling a staking pool. If you've understood what I've explained, thumbs up before I move on. Okay, perfect. So that's basically what we mean by a staking pool. A staking pool is a group of coin holders merging their resources to increase their chances of validating blocks and receiving those rewards. So what do? They combine their staking power and share the rewards proportionally to their contributions to the pool. Let's look at benefits of staking. Number one, you don't need special accessibility. So number one, accessibility. You don't need special equipment like you would for mining. Remember, in crypto, in BTC, there's a process called BTC mining. We'll cover that tomorrow, actually, so you'll be able to understand what we mean by that. And for BTC mining, you are required to buy a special equipment. And I googled it, and it's around 6 million Kenya shillings. So you can see it's very expensive. But in staking, all you need is the cryptocurrency and a compatible wallet. Number two, passive income. So staking offers a way to earn more crypto passively. So the interest rates can be very generous, 10% or 20%. We'll see that in the consecutive classes. Then low energy. Unlike mining, staking is energy efficient as it doesn't require intensive computation. We'll see that. I'll show you how we stake on Binance. Number risk. The other thing, we've looked at benefits of staking. Let's look at risks of staking. Someone to tell us what is the biggest risk in crypto? The biggest risk in crypto. Biggest risk in crypto? Someone? The biggest risk in crypto. Let's see. The biggest risk in crypto? Someone? Evans?
I think price fluctuation.
Yes, let's appreciate Evans. Price fluctuations, or rather what we call volatility. And no wonder we are saying on our first point is the first risk is market risk. The biggest risk is a potential adverse price movement in the assets being staked. So if the API is 15% and the asset dumps by 50% throughout the year, you'll have made a loss. This is due to the fact that the crypto industry is very volatile. So the first risk of staking is market volatility. Number two, we have what we call the liquidity risk. Someone to tell us what liquidity is? Liquidity, I think we had mentioned this some time back. Thomas?
Too much demand or supply, actually too much supply.
Pardon?
When you have too much supply of a particular coin.
Too much supply of a particular coin. That's what Thomas is saying. Another opinion? Joseph?
The ease of buying or selling your coins.
Yes, let's appreciate both Joseph and Thomas. Yes, liquidity is how fast is it easy to sell your assets for fiat or fiat for assets. Remember, you can be having Bitcoin, but where you're having them, or rather the exchange that you're holding them from, they don't they don't have a lot of users, so it means there are no people for you to sell them to. So it will be so hard for you to liquidate your Bitcoin for USDT. And the inverse is the same. You can be having USDT, but the exchange that you're approaching to buy that BTC don't have a lot of users. So basically, you might find yourself in a situation where you have USDT, but no one to sell you BTC. So we are saying liquidity is the ease of buying and selling an asset. And that with that now, the second risk of staking, liquidity risk. So if you're staking a microcap altcoin that barely has any liquidity on exchanges, you may find it difficult to sell your assets or to convert them into stable coins like USDT, USDC. We talked about stable coins. Number 3, locked up periods. Some assets come with locked periods during which you cannot access your staked assets. So Tron and Cosmos are good examples. What we mean by this, and we'll see in the next slide, is that some assets, once you stake them, they have staking periods. They'll say you can only stake, actually they call them locked. You can only lock your funds or your crypto for maybe, let's say, 15 days. And by that, they mean you'll only be able to access this locked crypto after 15 days. So that's the disadvantage of staking, the lockup periods. Number 4, reward distribution. Some staking assets do not pay out staking rewards daily. Stakers have to wait to receive their rewards at the end of that locked period. So the reward distribution, basically tokens that like you've seen Tron and Cosmos, which are good at participating in locking up those assets or locking periods, you'll be able to access rewards after those 15 days. In this case, you are using 15 days as an example. So your rewards will only be issued to you after 15 days. So the fourth risk of staking is the reward distribution. So let's look at the next slide. So practical demo. Before we go to the practical demonstration on Binance, any questions? Any questions? Joseph?
Is the staking the one that is offered in liquidity pools? And the one that says that you lock your coins, let's say you lock your coins for 14 days. Is that not farming?
It's the same thing. Actually, there's a very slight difference between farming and staking. But we'll look at farming next week. But you'll see there's a very similar. I wanted to combine farming, staking, and masternodes because they are almost the same thing. But I figured it will be a long class. But we look at that also. Is that okay?
Is it the one that is offered in the liquidity pools?
Yes.
That's,
yes.
Okay.
Liquidity pool is the same thing as staking pool, where the person who has staked more gets more rewards than the person who has staked less. But now the terminology that is used in centralized exchanges is staking pool, but on the decentralized exchanges is liquidity pool. Have you gotten the difference? The decentralized exchanges will call it liquidity pool. If you go to PancakeSwap, you'll see they call it liquidity pool. But when you go to Binance, they call it staking pool. Thomas, you have a question?
I get it. Thank you.
Just a clarification, if you can determine the liquidity by looking at those parameters, which we saw, trading volume over a period or circulating supply.
Yes.
Or how do you determine the liquidity when you're looking at a coin?
Actually, the volume. Volume is and you'll see when you'll be doing technical analysis, not technical, fundamental analysis, you'll see the value of determining the volume of a token. The volume will tell you how many people are holding or how much is this token being transacted around. Volume. The volume is very important. Okay, perfect. So let's move to Binance. Joseph, you have a question?
There is something you said that you might go to an exchange and you might not sell your coins.
You might not be able to sell your coins.
Because there is no liquidity maybe in an exchange. Does the exchange have a certain portion of the coins they sell in the exchange or they remove it directly from the blockchain.
Okay, did you? I think there's a voice note I did send a long time ago, and I explained a step by step, or rather gradually, how exchanges acquire this token. So just to answer you, yes, they actually do buy a substantial amount of these tokens before they list them on their platforms. I'll resend that voice note again. Were you in the group, Joseph, at that time?
Yes, but I never.
Never? Joseph has just disappeared. Anyway.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it. I'll resend it again. I'll resend it. So, just to show you how staking works, so I'll come to this part on Binance. Remember, we have different types of wallets. I think I mentioned that. We have the spot wallet, the futures wallet, the earn wallet, and the funding wallet. The funding wallet, basically, when you receive funds from someone, or rather from P2P, that money will come to your funding wallet. Your spot wallet is basically your home wallet, the overview, the most commonly used wallet is just a spot wallet. Or when you want to spot trade, the funds that you want to spot trade on will be on the spot wallet. If you want to do futures trading, you need to transfer your funds into the futures wallet so that you can be able to transact on, or rather to trade on the futures platform. So when it comes to staking, if you want to participate in staking, you'll have to transfer your funds to the earn wallet. So all your funds should be on the earn wallet, or rather the amount that you want to commit to the staking investment plan will have to be transferred to your earn wallet. So from this part right here, no wonder I'm coming. I was just basically explaining why I'm coming to the earn wallet. If you click on the earn wallet like that, it will bring you to this page right here, the Binance Earn. If you can see Binance Earn thumbs up, my other device is lagging. I'm still on duo investment. So I'm just worried, you guys. So, okay. But it's my device that is lagging. Anyway, you'll see from this part, Binance Earn. Binance Earn is another name for staking. And under staking, we have 3 different ways that you can stake. Number 1, Chris, you have a question? Christian, your hand is up. Okay, I'll assume that's a mistake. So, any staking, just to repeat, any staking you do goes to your earn wallet. And if you click on earn wallet, it will bring you to this part, the Binance Earn. So we are saying there are 3 main ways you can participate in Binance Earn. We have the simple earn, which is this right here. Simple earn. We have the flexible staking, and we have the dual investment. So let's start with simple earn. Just to navigate back to our slides. Simple earn, or rather what we call the flexible staking. What is simple earn? Think of it as a saving account. You deposit your crypto and earn daily rewards. The word is daily rewards. Another advantage of simple earn, you can redeem anytime. So there's no lockup period. So it's great for users who want to earn passively while still keeping access to their funds. Then, and with that, with those advantages, simple earn comes with a lower APY in comparison to lockup periods options. So because they are giving you an option that will get daily rewards, number 1, and you can redeem anytime, then the APY, and what we mean by APY is annual percentage yield. So we'll see, we have annual percentage yield, APY, but some other exchanges will call this APR, annual percentage rate. It's the same thing. It's just that one exchange will call this APY and another exchange will call this APR, annual percentage rate. So for simple earn, you receive a relatively lower APY compared to fixed or locked options. So what are the advantages? Flexible, and lower risk. Why do you think we are saying simple and has lower risk? Someone? Why do you think it has lower risk? Joseph? Joseph? Joseph has been liquidated. Evans?
I think it's because you can redeem at any time.
You can redeem at any time. So how does that lower the risk?
I think it's because the money isn't locked for like a longer period. So if you see that maybe they're losing value, you can cash out quickly.
Yes, let's appreciate Evans. Remember, in the locked or fixed option, you'll have to lock you literally have no control over your coin. So even if the market goes against you, you'll still have to wait until that time lapses. But for the flexible, or rather the simple and or rather what you're calling flexible, in this case, because you have the option of accessing your funds anytime, if you predict that the market is going to go down, you have the option of liquidating your assets. Consequences, lower returns. In comparison, and you've seen that here, in comparison to fixed and locked, the APY or the APR is lower when it comes to the simple add option. Then you're having the locked staking, or what you call the fixed staking. Your crypto is locked for a fixed period of time, let's say 30 days, 60, 90, or 120 days. So you cannot access your funds during the lockup. In return, you get higher rewards. So a disadvantage, you cannot access your funds during the lockup period, but you in return will get higher rewards or higher APY or APR. The advantage of locked savings as locked stakings, higher returns. Then the consequence is the funds are inaccessible during that lockup period. Let's look at just practical examples. So for the simple earn, what you do, if you look, this homepage is a summary of everything. It's just an overview of all these types of investment. So when you scroll down, you'll see different types. We'll see the flexible and the locked. You'll see the simple earn. Simple earn is this one. Remember, you said simple earn is also non-flexible. So at the homepage, it gives you a summary of all the types of staking that Binance offers. Let's look at an example, for example, USDT. If I open this, you'll notice that USDT has an option, three options. You can do simple earn with USDT. You can do flexible, which is the same thing, and also you can do dual investment. Let's look at another coin. Maybe let's do Solana. Solana right here has a flexible and locked option, and also it has the locked options complete. Then you have the dual investment. So if I'm to come to this part on the simple and just to explain some few things, if I come to this part, simple and it will open this part right here. So on the flexible part, it represents the simple and, but also it has locked up periods. But let's start with the flexible and. So if you want to commit your funds to this staking pool, what you do, you'll come. Remember what you said, transfer your funds to your earn wallet. So if you don't have funds in your earn wallet, you'll just come to this part and do your transfer from maybe funding wallet or your spot wallet. So what you do, click maximum. Once you've clicked maximum, it will give you, remember our APY, and I repeat that again, or APR is annual percentage yield for APY or annual percentage rate for APR. So it means that this percentage, 2.64%, is what you get yearly. Remember, annual means yearly. Yearly. So this is the rate you'll get yearly, 2.64%. So the calculation that you're given here, remember this is automatic. So the calculation, Binance has an automatic feature. Once you've committed your soul, it will give you the value you'll be receiving on a daily basis. So let's look if this is actually correct. Remember, we have said, let me try and open maybe Word, Microsoft Word right here, so that you can do that calculation, see if Binance is correct. Word, Microsoft Word right here. Word. Let's open a new document right here. So if I'm to open this here, and remember, we are being told, let me try and squeeze this. We're being told that the APY for Solana is 2.64%. So remember, 2.64%, 2.64% is the percentage for 1 year. This represents 1 year. So for us to get, and remember 1 year is 365. Let me just use 365. It's 365 days. We're having 365 days in a year. So 2.64% represents 365. What about 1 day? You want to get the value of 1 day. So what about 1 day? 1 day. We want to get the rate for 1 day. So someone to do that calculation from their end, then they tell us the answer so that we can get the percentage return for 1 day. Percentage return for 1 day on your calculators is basically 1/365 times the ROI. It's basically 2. Let me do it. 2.64. 2.64. 2.64.
0.007. 0.007. 00723.
00.
723.
0.00723.
723.
So, meaning for 1 day, that's our percentage return. So let's look. So that's our percentage return for 1 day. But remember, your rewards are determinant of the number of cryptocurrencies that you actually committed to this pool. Remember, we said the person who has staked more gets more reward than the person who has staked less. So let's calculate based on what we have invested right here. You can see what we committed from this part. If you can see this part, thumbs up. This part right here. So the amount of Solana that we have put, or rather we have staked into this staking pool is 0.070 something, whatever. So to get our rewards, we'll do our staking amount multiplied by our ROI. Remember, this is percent. So what we'll do is this per percent now multiplied by this amount. Let's multiply. Let me just use X. Multiplied by 0.00075. This amount that we staked, 750924. Someone to do that for us.
0.00543.
0. How many zeros?
3 zeros 543.
543. So let's look and confirm our answer right here. Let me try and move this. So you'll see an approximate is actually an exact 0.00. Maybe we did a mistake somewhere. Have you included the percentage? Did you include the percentage? 0.007%. Remember it was
Yes.
times 0.075. No, from my end I am getting 5 zeros, just like the answer here. Remember we are doing, let me just open my calculator. Oh, I know what you did. If you do 1% of this, when you're giving us this answer, did you include 2.64%?
2.64 divided by 365.
Oh, so you did not include the percentage. Kindly do 2.64%. Don't forget the percentage divided by 365. 365 and tell us the answer. 2.64, and so that we can make sure we are correct, let's have this answer from someone else. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. 2.64%. Remember to include the percentage. Divided by 365. 2.64% divided by 365. I'm getting something like this. 4 zeros here. If you're getting the same, kindly.
It's okay.
So that answer now multiplied by what we had staked, that answer with 4 zeros multiplied by what we had staked, 0.07550924 is giving me 0.00. How many zeros? 1, 2, 5 zeros. If you are getting the same answer, kindly thumbs up. If you're getting the same answer. No one is getting the same answer. If you have understood what you're doing, thumbs up. Any questions? Okay, I'll just take that like we have understood. So that's all about the staking, the flexible or the simple staking. You don't need to understand all this or this mathematics. Binance will auto calculate that for you. So you'll get, I was just basically explaining so that you don't see figures here and you don't understand where these figures are coming from. So now you'll be able to understand where this value, or rather how they calculated your returns. So if I'm to go to the locked option, I can commit, the same thing will happen. I can commit my maximum. Let me commit the same number of Solana right here, and it will automatically calculate this for me. But remember what we said we said in fixed, you cannot withdraw your assets however you want. So you have to wait for these 14 days, in this case, these 14 days to lapse for you to be able to access these funds. And you'll notice something. The more the locking period, the more the ROI. You see, 30 days, 3%. 14 days, 1.5. 30 days, 3%. 90 days, 4%. 120 days, 5%, and so on and so forth. So if let's do one last calculation so that you can be able to understand where this value is coming from. Just to repeat again, for those who did not understand the first calculation we did, what we are saying is this percentage ROI that is given here, remember it's annual. So this 1.5, let me just, I'll actually try and split this vizuri. Let me put it just beside here. What happened? Just beside here, like that. Then we'll do this together again. Remember, we are saying that the ROI given here, which is 1.59, is an annual percentage rate. Let me add percentage so that we don't forget it in the calculation. Percent. There, 1% represents what? Annual. 1 year has 365 days. 365. So we want to get our percentage rate for 1 day. So what will be our percentage rate for 1 day? It will be 1.59% divided by 365. Someone to tell us the answer. 1.5. And don't forget the percentage. 1.59% divided by 365. What's our percentage ROI per day? Someone? Percentage ROI per day, return on investment per day. Someone? Just do 1.5
Point.
seconds.
0.00004356.
So for one day, our ROI will be, repeat again kindly,
0.00004356.
How many zeros?
4.
4356.
56.
Perfect. So that's our ROI for one day. But remember, we are locking our assets for 14 days. So what will you do to get our ROI for 14 days, someone? Remember, you're having an ROI for one day. What will you do to get our ROI for 14 days?
Multiply by 14.
Perfect. Do that and tell me the answer. Multiply by 14.
0.000698.
Repeat that again. 0. How many zeros?
3.
3 zero
6099.
6099. So that's our ROI for 14 days. But remember what we said, so that we can be fair. The rewarding mechanism used is the person who staked more gets more rewards than the person who staked less. So the amount you staked is directly proportional to the rewards you'll get. So to get that, we'll now need to multiply our assets that we committed to this staking pool, which is 0.05 something, whatever Solana, multiplied by our ROI for those 14 days. So in short, we'll do this answer 0.06 something, this last answer here, we need to multiply that by the number of Solana we committed. 0.750924. I want to do that math for us and tell us the answer. 0.075092. Someone? What's the answer?
Zero point zero 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 999.
42. Repeat again. Do that
Zero
calculation.
point 40995. It's like 0.000043.
43. Perfect. It's the same thing. Me, I've calculated on my end and I've gotten 4 zeros, then 45796, which is basically what we are having right now.
So far is okay.
So far is okay. So if you calculate this, let me just do what we have on the screen. 0.000, how many zeros? 3 zeros. 60999 multiplied by 0.0750924. I think Pius, you did it wrongly, but the answer is what we have on the screen right now, and I'll just write it, which is equals to 0.000004 zeros. Then you're having 4579888, something like that. And if you compare that answer, this answer right here, to what you are being offered here, you now understand how they calculated your reward. So everything is fair depending on the amount of Solana that you committed. It will be directly proportional to the rewards that you'll get. If you've gotten everything up to that part, thumbs up. So by now we've looked at flexible, which is simple and we've also tackled fixed, or rather what you call the locked staking. So let's go to the third and the last type of staking. And under this part right here, I just said, just come to the earn part. And the third type now is what we call the dual investment. Dual investment. So just to come to this part, from this part, let it load. From this part, if you go to the advanced earn, you'll see the dual investment. And that's what I want us to tackle. I don't know if I highlighted it on the slides. But yeah, perfect. So dual investment. From the word dual, it means two. So under dual investment, you have the option of buying low and you have an option of selling high. So let's look at buying low. You are committing a stable coin, usually USDT or BUSD, to buy a crypto asset like BTC at a lower price on a specific settlement date. So if the market price drops to or below the target price, you buy the asset at that price and earn interest. If not, what will happen? You don't buy the crypto, but you'll get your original stable coins, and also you'll keep the earned interest for that holding period. So let's look at an example so that you can understand. You commit 100 USDT. And what are your conditions? You want to buy BTC. Remember, this is buy low. The current market price of BTC right now is at 80. But for you, you are setting a condition, or rather, you're telling the system, the Binance system, that I want to buy BTC using this 100 USDT. If BTC reaches $60,000, which date? April the 30th. So it will not buy you BTC any day that BTC reaches 60,000 K, but it will only buy you BTC if on April 30th BTC will tap 60K or even below. So if BTC never drops to 60K by that date, what will happen? You'll still keep that USDT, but you'll earn the interest by what? You earn the interest for that holding period. So from now, today is 16th of April. So your hold, or rather your holding period is approximately 15 days. Remember, today is 16 days, date 16, and your target or your settlement date is April 30th. So even if on April 30th BTC doesn't go to 60K, you'll still earn your interest for holding over that period of time. If you have understood what buy low means, thumbs up. Only Emmanuel, if you understood what buy low means, thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Let's look at selling high. I didn't highlight selling high. Okay, yeah, selling high. You're committing a crypto asset. Remember, you already bought low. Let's assume that the condition that you had set on buy low option, you bought BTC. So in return, you want to liquidate this BTC, but you want to liquidate while still earning some interest on it. So you're committing a crypto asset like BTC. Remember, using this example, you bought BTC using $100. This one right here. You bought BTC using $100. So you are committing BTC to sell at a higher price on a future settlement date. So it's ideal if you think the market will rise and you want to sell high while still earning some yield in the meantime as you wait for that target price to be achieved. So what if my target price is not met? You keep the crypto, you'll keep your BTC, but you'll earn full interest on your crypto and no conversion will happen. You'll still remain with your assets in BTC form, not in USDT as you had earlier intended to do. Remember, when you're selling, you're liquidating an asset for a stable coin, for example, in this case, USDT. So let's have an example. You commit 0.5 BTC. This example is actually wrong. Based on the current market price, let's use 90K. The current market price of BTC is 85. So you are targeting to sell at a price higher than the current market price, which is 85. So a price higher than that is maybe 90K in this example. So the settlement date, or rather, you've said by May 10th, if BTC attains 90K, you want your 0.05 BTC to be sold and converted to what? USDT. So if BTC never hits or exceeds 80K by that date, in this case not 80K but 90, if it doesn't attain that, what will happen? I will still have my assets 0.05 BTC, but on top of that, I'll receive interest or APR and over the holding period. And lastly, your BTC is unlocked and returned to your spot wallet. So just coming back to Binance right here. Binance right here, where you have navigated to do invest. If you scroll down, you'll see the two options that I've mentioned: sell high or buy low. Let's start with buy low because you need to have assets for you to sell. So on the buy low, you'll notice we are having target price. Remember that the current market price of BTC, if I'm to come here, the current market price of BTC is 84. So what they have listed here is any price below 84K because we are buying low. So here we are having 83,500. If you want to subscribe to this, the APR, the annual percentage rate, the annual percentage rate is 95.41%. The settlement date is what? In 2 days. If you can see that, if you can see this difference is the less days it is, the more the ROI. Why do you think that's the nini? 2 days, more ROI. The more days, less ROI. 9 days, less ROI. 2 days, 6 days, 9%, 16 days. Just to answer you so that you can save on time. Remember, Binance are in business. They are in business. They know there's ease. Remember, you're 84,100. So the ease of market going down to 83,500 is actually very high. And no wonder they are limiting that option to only 2 days so that they can lock out people. But you see, if it's 83,500, 9 days, the ROI, the same conditions, but more days, the ROI decreases. So basically what you've said, that the buy low option will give you an option to buy an asset at a price lower than the current market price. But while at it, as you wait for these 2 days, your return on investment is 95% APR. The same thing for this. If you choose 8,300, your return on investment is for those 2 days also. Let me use another example. 8,300, the return on investment for those 9 days is what? 62.65% APR. So what will happen if this price in 9 days, or rather by 25th of April, this price is not attained? What will happen is that your USDT will be returned to your spot wallet and you'll still earn your ROI based on this APR for locking your funds for that period of 9 days. So basically, if you want to subscribe to that, just come on the subscribe button and subscribe to that option. When you're selling high, basically the inverse. If you come to this part, you are saying that selling high, you're selling at a price higher than the current market price. What's our current market price? 84,100. So in this list, they are listing every a price higher than what? 84,100. No wonder you are seeing 84,500, 85, and so many other options, as long as they are higher than the current market price, which is 84,100. So if this option entices you, what are we telling the system? We are committing BTC, our value of BTC, and you are saying if BTC reaches 84,500, when by 18th of April 2025, I want the system to sell my assets for USDT, or in short, to liquidate my asset. So what is this APR? APR is the return on investment that I'll get for locking my BTC for how many days? For those 2 days. What happens if by 18th the price of BTC doesn't attain this price? Then I'll receive back my BTC. They will not be liquidated to a stable asset. I receive my BTC, but I'll still receive my ROI, return on investment, based on this APR, which is 112.21% for locking my BTC over this period of days, which is 2 days. If you've gotten that concept, thumbs up. Any questions so far? Any questions? Is Elo in this class? He had asked about, in the group, he had asked about, what do you call this? Staking. I hope he's in this class. Ambrose, I see you have a question.
Yeah, thanks so much for expounding much on staking. What I'm seeing is, I really wanted to ask a question on why do you have the staking pool as opposed to individual staking? Is it because the rate given or the percentage given on staking is too low, so that when you are in the pool, you got a bit of a larger asset. You are concentrating more assets so that you can earn meaningful return on your investment.
Yes. Remember we said, I repeat this statement again, and I've repeated this a couple of times. I said, I even gave an example with the banking system. The interest that I get, for example, if I've kept, let's use equity. If I've kept 1 million with equity, and another person has put in 10 million, who do you think, Ambrose, who do you think will have more returns? Or the other?
1 million person.
Yes, that's the same thing. No wonder I said we can use the example of banks to simply explain in layman's terms what staking is. In staking also, the person who staked more gets more rewards than the person who staked less. And I remember we talked about the staking, the methods in which staking pays through, or rather how it calculates its rewards. And we talked about POW and POS. But remember, POW is a bit on the outdated version. What most cryptocurrency use is POS. POS is a mechanism when validators are chosen to create new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency they hold and they are willing to stake as collateral. So the amount of cryptocurrency that you hold is directly proportional to your staking rewards. So the person who has staked more gets more rewards than the person who has staked less. So the purpose of a staking pool is to put your money together so that your staking power can be stronger for you to yield more staking reward. Is that okay, Ambrose?
Yeah, this question is just a reflection of what I've done before. You stake as an individual, the rewards are not as many.
Yes.
The area of volatility hits you so bad, you have put maybe 100 or some a number of coins, or maybe worth $500 or $200 of a particular coin. Then the rewards, when the rewards are being given on that coin, you don't qualify. You have tied your money there, and instead you should have invested it elsewhere. So some of this information need to be, somebody needs to know about all this information before they get into the market to do anything. Because you can stake your money in as much as, it is locked again. When you are withdrawing that money, takes a bit of time, like 21 days for you to access the money.
Yes.
And the opportunities are passing, And another question I would have wanted to know is, when do you think is appropriate to do the staking? You need to have more information on when the market is in the bear market or when we are on the bull market.
Depends, and I'll answer this. If you're in the bull market, it's more appropriate if you're doing it short term. But remember me, how I do staking. I do stake on my cold ledger, my cold wallet, which is from Ledger. So because me, I buy coins to hold for a long time. There are coins I bought like in 2023, and I know we are bullish.
But we are millionaire, isn't it?
No, I'm trying. So because I bought some coins in 2023, then it means, can see you guys laughing here. But anyway, because I bought some, I actually Pius is in a group that I mistakenly shared my portfolio. But anyway, that's beside the point. So the point I'm saying is, if you're staking coins for a long period of time, remember you are bullish long term. In 2023, Bitcoin was like 23K. And because I knew 2024, we are having the Bitcoin halving, 2025 bull run, then I know I am bullish long term. So for me, I'll stake and I ignore all this volatility in between because my goal is long term. It's not short term. But if you're staking some amount of money that you know you'll need in the near future or in a couple of weeks, days, or whatever, then you'll need to stake when the market is bullish. But if you're staking for a long period of time, I don't think you should worry about the volatility in between. You just take your amount and forget about it. You'll be.
And should you stake in the CX or in the DX?
Yes, I just mentioned that. Maybe you're not in class. So what you have done right now, someone asked, I'm very sure, I can't remember who, in the decentralized exchanges, you can also do what? You can also stake, but they call it liquidity. They call it a liquidity pool. It's the same thing. But when you come to centralized exchanges, they call this a staking pool. If you go to the Ledger wallet, they basically call it staking. You'll see from the Ledger wallet on the options that they provide, you'll see there the option of staking. Is that okay? I hope I've answered you correctly.
All right.
Yes, but the best way is to stake. If you know you're bullish long term, just stake and forget about those assets and and ignore.
For long term, you need to start with the bear market so that you can get more benefit.
Me, I actually think you're still in a bear market right now. Let me tell you, a project like AVAX, I was actually shocked the other day. A project like AVAX right now is going for $18. $18. I can't believe $18, the same price that if someone bought it in 2023, they're still there. I'm actually sitting on, I don't know if it's losses or I'm breaking even because I bought it at around $17. It went all the way up to around 50 something. I didn't sell. Now it has gone back to 18. No, I'm just at the same point I started at in 2023. So you're still.
It is only because of the tariffs that we have all this window of opportunity to buy. Otherwise, it's like somebody said there was another influencer who was saying that it is mirroring the 2020 season where we had COVID went down and then there was that window of opportunity. People were skeptical. They thought it was going to crash, but it went back again. So the same with the tariffs now. We just have a window of opportunity for us to buy. So as you were saying, where you were several months ago is where you have come back courtesy of the tariffs. So people should take advantage and just hold as much.
Yes, buying. I'm also buying in. Remember the deal we said? What did we call it? Why am I losing my train?
Buy the dip.
DCA, yes. Buy the dip.
DCA.
Yes.
Dollar cost average.
So what I'm doing with my AVAX, because it has disappointed me, I'm just buying the dip so that at least when it goes up, I won't feel that bad. But
because you can see like ETH is at 15. There was a time ETH went all the way to 9. We thought it was going to 700 and it never went. So this year is the best approach to accumulate this. Thank you.
Yes, it's actually the best nini. But there's some coins will never go back. I remember in 2023 Solana was $9. I wish I bought even more. I had just started this thing. I just bought a few.
But you are afraid of FTX because there was something they call Elimida or something.
Yes, when FTX went down.
Okay.
Yes. No, even when I was coming into crypto, I just came in after FTX had collapsed. Actually, FTX collapsing was trending on Twitter, and that is what actually gave me an interest to look at what crypto is. I was just wondering what's this trending on Twitter. So I just came in immediately after FTX had collapsed. So you can imagine the prices that crypto was going for that time. Very discounted prices. Solana $9.
Very $9, $10. Yeah.
I remember even BTC was around 15K. It was very
True.
Yeah. But anyway, that's
it has gone all the way to 239. That's for Solana from $9. So millionaires can be made here depending on when you get in. And with what information.
We might be having some billionaires in this meeting. You don't know.
I'm telling you. Like Thomas.
Like Zola.
I'm only pulling you the leg.
Yeah. Joseph, you have a question?
I'm commenting that in crypto, never regret any decision you make.
Yes. Funds are mostly collecting profits.
Well, we're really not regretting, but we are thinking aloud. Let's think aloud.
I'll tell you something. I always see Moonkal. If you know Moonkal on Twitter, you know he always says crypto gives opportunity to everyone. So if you missed buying Bitcoin in 2009, the next best time to buy crypto is now.
Correct.
Yes, he always tweets that the market will always give you an opportunity to get in. So if you missed buying Bitcoin in 2009, buy it today. The next correct time or the next right time to buy it is today. Because so many other cryptos, there's a coin right now that is being created and it's launching at 0.00 something, just like the price that Bitcoin was 9 years ago or 10 years ago. So you can always buy in crypto anytime. Yeah.
So thanks.
I think I've done dual investments and what? Dual investment and flexible and fixed staking. So because I see time has really gone, I think we'll end this class right here. Then tomorrow, before we start, because Bitcoin mining is such a small topic, we'll start with masternodes because it entails a lot. And also because I figured that there's a platform here called Cryptos. I've not done masternodes in a long time, maybe in like 2 years. So I came here to see. I just logged in for the purposes of this class, and I actually saw that they closed down this cryptos.io. So I'm looking to try out another one, which is nodehub.io and all nodes, so that I can teach that in class tomorrow. So if you're having no questions at this point.
Well, I have a question. Maybe you can give some comment on the CBX. That thing, I never had interest in it, but I'm just seeing it trending so much. People are talking about the ill will of crypto, disadvantage of crypto, how people are calling people out here with crypto, and that's not crypto really. CBX is not crypto. That was a platform created by some con people, and because people are not paying school fees, they are not training, they go in there, pump all the money there. When it is stolen, is when they come back and say crypto is bad. Just comment.
It's so funny because I always tell people crypto is not a scam. when you're scammed, just say I was scammed through crypto. Not I was
Correct.
scammed by crypto, through crypto. So if
Yes.
you learn, if you get the, I'm very sure everyone who is in this class now, they cannot be influenced or rather be scammed easily. It's so
No.
easy to spot these scams. And I'll give you an example. There's a friend of mine who lost like, I don't know, 2 million Kenya shillings on Cryptos, on CBX. And I actually shared her tweet.
Hebu pigia yeye makofi. Pigia yeye makofi.
Hata unafaona even nilimtext, nilimwambia congratulations on your donations. Because this is so funny. If you open that tweet, I've sent it in the group right now. If you open it, you can see I even told her from the word go. I told her, she was telling me she wants to join CBX. That was 29th March 2025. And from the word go, I told them, why would you use CBEX where there are so many other reliable exchanges? Why would you leave Binance, BitGet, KX, and all that to go and use CBEX, a random exchange? Then she told me, she's a girl, she told me that people trading on CBEX, that CBEX has an advantage over Binance because if you're trading on CBEX, you're being given free signals that are earning you money. From there, that statement only is enough to tell you that that is a scam. There's no one, remember, someone who is owning an exchange, they are here to make money from you. So there's no way this person
They cannot afford you to make money.
Yes, to make money from their own exchange that he intends to make money from you. So basically, it's a scam. And I told her that's a big red flag. And the last thing I told her is they'll work for the first bunch of people as a marketing stunt to attract people. Then the wagon will sink. Once a lot of guys are in, once a lot of people are on board and they've committed their money or deposited their money on that exchange. So when I think it was yesterday or the day before, when she texted me and asked me to help her, and to help me to withdraw my money on CBEX, I was very happy. Me, I just told her, congratulations on donating your funds.
Help her to withdraw. Did you help her to invest?
No, I actually want her, but anyway.
And again, another red flag is when somebody tells you that they are going to give you 30% consistently or 10% consistently, it doesn't work in crypto.
In any trading, doesn't work like that. No one is.
It doesn't work.
Even if
we are going to share a certain percentage. You take maybe 60%, I take 35, 40% of the profit at the end of the month or at the end of the day. You cannot commit to giving somebody 30% consistently. Where now? Yes. With this volatility.
Exactly.
You can't. So
there's another one also that scammed people. I don't know if you guys had heard of it. It was called BTCM. That one came with an approach of hedge fund. Where you commit money, they invest, then you share. They are paying people like every Friday. They share interest with you. Rather, they share profit with you guys.
Know your keys, know your money.
Exactly.
Know your keys, know your money. Because how do you trust these people? It's not a bank. Where are they registered? Where can you go to complain? You give somebody money that you have met online. They are telling you they are giving you 40%, and you are excited. You give them money. How do you get that money from that person?
And
especially crypto.
Do you know the funny thing is, even if right now, even if you know me, and right now everyone in this group knows me, Wanjiko. If you give me your money and I elude with them, there's no you take me here in Kenya. Remember, crypto is unrecognizable by the government. It is unregulated in Kenya. So there are no laws that actually are set to protect you or to do anything for you. So you might be knowing me and even knowing where I'm living, but there's no way you take me unless you kill me now. That's the only justice you'll get. But there's no way you'll take me legally. No wonder people scam people through.
It's very true. We have lost money. A friend tells you, "Oh, we are trading. Transfer that money to me, and then I will be trading for you." My friend, as the engineer is saying, they just go with your money and you do nothing unless you separate the head from the shoulders. Then you say, if that's the best you can do, you will separate the head from the shoulders, and that will be fine. But taking them anywhere. Just opening a can of worms to Kasongo to follow you and see what can happen. Anyway.
Because my life is protected by the law. Crypto is not protected by the law, but my life is protected by the law. But basically, the bottom line is, if you get knowledge on anything, not only crypto, anything. If you want to buy a car today, don't go carry someone who doesn't understand cars. Carry someone who has the knowledge of cars and understand the importation and stuff like that. Learn first before you commit any amount. You always tell anyone before even committing 10,000. You might see 10,000 is like small money, but before committing 10,000 to anything, not only crypto, anything. Even if it's a phone, before committing to doing that, do your research, get the knowledge around that thing that you want to commit your money to. Me, I actually think Kenyans have a lot of money. How would someone tell you online via Instagram and you send them 1 million? I wish I was a scammer. It's so easy. Online, me I can send someone 2,000.
You believe that this is somebody. I don't know. They think there is a bit of an evil spirit which hovers over you, and you cease thinking, being critically, and again acting on emotions. You don't sleep over issues and think over it. You want to make the money quickly.
I actually think there's one thing I love from Tate. I actually love Tate so much. He says that train yourself not to think emotionally, or rather react emotionally, but react logically. Doesn't matter if it's investment, relationship, anything to do, work, career. Always try. If you see you're thinking emotionally, I think you're supposed to step out first. Wait for the emotions to die down, then come with your logic mind to make decisions. Your emotions can really
matters of the heart, they never go logic. They go emotional.
And that's why people are killing other people. What you need to do is basically get away, get control of your emotions. Then after that, you'll be able to think logically. So me, I apply that in everything.
You have to be teaching first to learn. You have to be given character development to learn. You can't just start from A and get in there like that. No, you must have been beaten once, then you say it twice. No. Let me check if this thing is real or it's just like the rest. That's when the logic comes in. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but also experience the best teacher, but also you can just slowly practice acting logically.
So.
Yes, it will be so easy. You would be scammed. You might be maybe on your last 10,000 shilling and you're really thinking emotionally. You want someone to trade for you and give you 1 million. But if you step out and think logically, you see this person is actually scamming you.
Yeah, it's true. You are very right. Just thinking emotionally that you are going to be given 1 million, you become delusional.
Yes. Yeah, Joseph, I see your hand is up.
I wanted to ask a question on how the government does taxation in crypto.
In Kenya?
Not in Kenya. No, I was not meaning in Kenya. In some countries where there is regulations.
So what happens?
Does they?
Okay, go ahead.
Does they when the exchange is cut, maybe the funding fee is when taxation is done or when you convert through P2P?
So I'll just answer you and I'll remind me to send that blog. There was a meeting that I was invited in sometime last year, I think in September, between KRA people and the KRA of Kenya and the lawyers, that's the word, and the lawyers, and they were looking into taxing crypto, and not only crypto, any digital service. For example, Netflix. Remember, Netflix is digital. You pay to them directly. The government doesn't earn from it. They're talking about Netflix and some other stuff. These are the things that are earned online, or rather you pay online. So they were looking to tax those things. So what happens is, that's where I learned this also. What happens is, no wonder it's so hard for in Kenya for this to happen is, number one, the government has to recognize crypto. make it regulated. Remember, in Kenya, it's unregulated, not illegal, unregulated. That's the difference. You'll not be incriminated for doing crypto because it's not illegal. Rather, it is unregulated. So the first thing the government needs to do is to acknowledge crypto by making it regulated. Then the next thing, they need to build systems. And this is where the big problem is. They really need to have a meeting with the leading exchanges, for example, have with Binance, build systems that will automatically determine the profits that you've made on crypto. Remember, there are people who are in crypto. Let me start here. Tax is made on, you only pay tax if you've made profit, if I make sense. You pay tax if you've made profit. So how does the government account that I actually traded and made profit? Then they'll have to have a meeting with Binance, build systems that will determine this. Also remember, so that they can differentiate this fact. There are some people who are in crypto to make money. They have invested, bought coins at low, they've done buy and hold, others are trading. But there are other people who are purely here to make transactions through crypto. I have someone in the US that I work for. I don't want to be paid in PayPal because PayPal fucks everyone in Africa. So I want to be paid through Binance. So what has happened? I've just received funds. I've used Binance not as an investment, but rather as a transfer of funds like M-Pesa. So they don't need to tax me on that. No one taxes you for transferring money from one person to another when you're using M-Pesa. Basically the same thing. So they'll need systems that will determine that this was actually a transaction that was made, and this was an investment that was made by this person. And for that to happen, they have to have a meeting on Binance. If they sit down with Binance today, we will move from Binance, we go to BitGate. So they'll have to build other systems with BitGate. If they go to BitGate, we'll shift from there, we'll go to this part. So it needs a lot of money and commitments for all this to actually actualize. So we still have a long way to go. I don't think we'll be taxed anytime soon, not even the next 10 or 15 years. It will take a lot of time. And also, I don't think the people who are in leadership, who are in these dockets, really understand what crypto is. I was very disappointed that day that they were so ignorant, if I'm to use that word, ignorant. They didn't understand anything. So it was basically us, the crypto people, arguing with the lawyers as those people were floating there and they are the decision makers. Have I explained that well? But I'll send that blog so that you can go to it. I've just mentioned a few that I could remember. Is that okay, Joseph?
Just adding to that is that I've also had an opportunity to work with some government officials on crypto. They really understand is zero.
Yes.
They just get interested and excited about the money, but the issue is building the system. There's nobody who is committed to building the systems and make sure the systems are working and maybe legalize the trade, right? And accept it or recognize it, regulate it, so that you can go to a bank and say you are doing crypto and you borrow money to invest there. And again, when it comes to taxes, if you traded and you made a loss, you are going to deduct this loss from future profits.
Yes.
They may not accept that. Like these guys who have been now scammed, they'll say, determining whether they were doing legit crypto or they were trying to make quick money and they burn their fingers. So these losses have got to be deducted from the future profits if they still continue to trade. So it is not got a long way to check. But I know some guys.
Some guys
in Canada who are trading and they have to account for whatever they have earned and they pay taxes without fail. So those guys are building systems. Here, mambo tu kuongea na kutaka kula pesa without any effort.
By the way, do you think it's a good thing if they regulate crypto and start taxing it? Do you think it's a good thing?
You see, if it is regulated, then it becomes a business that you can use to go and borrow money from a bank, and you say, I'm trading here, you are accepted in a bank. You go mention in a bank that you are doing crypto, they will not look at you once. They might start closing your accounts because they don't understand what's going on.
Yes.
It is a good idea, but as you put it, they have not built systems and legalized it.
Yes,
so we got a long way to go.
I'm also for the idea they regulate it and tax it so that at least, once something has been regulated, it's so easy. The large masses believe crypto is a scam. But once the government regulates it, now we'll have more adoption because now people will believe in the concept of I just use an example with PayPal. If you're having a PayPal in the US, they'll tax you. And the advantage is when you're being taxed, PayPal doesn't misbehave as it does here in Kenya. Once a country has acknowledged or rather regulated a company like PayPal, number one, will have an office of PayPal here in Kenya. So it will make it easier. If my account has been limited, then I can approach them and ask and be sorted directly. So what has happened is I've had so many bad experiences with PayPal. If they were to unlimit all my maybe I'll be they have really locked a lot of money from me by locking or limiting my accounts. So it's better I pay taxes than suffer the way I do suffer,
Yeah. True.
Any other question before we end this class? I'd seen someone else who had their hand up. I've forgotten.
It was Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah, I think the first one was Pius, but I think I can't see him. No, mine was just a comment about the regulation. The blockchain technology and ecosystem, based on the way Bitcoin came up, is actually independence from regulatory entities like central banks, governments, and so on. So that is one of the reasons why regulations will meet a lot of stiff challenges. But also remember that there are many people who are very global in many ways. Either you have footprints in many geolocations, like you work in the US remotely, you live in Kenya. I know a lot of people who are teleworking from Nairobi, some from Europe, UK, they are doing work in South Africa. So even the issue of doing transactions when you are geographically working or teleworking or doing business from anywhere becomes a bit challenging for governments to tax you. I can register an account using an address in Manhattan and I'm doing business. And if I want to be really smart, I do all those transactions using a VPN connection from Nairobi. And the Kenya can't know that I'm actually working from Nairobi. And that money is registered like I'm in Italy. So I think all of it, as you said, it's very complex. And long way to go.
I'll give you an easier way. Instead of using a VPN to receive your funds, opening a PayPal in the US, what you do, just use non-custodial wallets. Remember, you can receive USDT in your Trust wallet. You can receive any type of crypto by your Trust wallet. So you can ask your employer, to send you money and you give them an address instead of giving them an address that directs them to a centralized exchange. Remember, from the centralized exchange, they can get your identity because you did KYC. So what you do, give them an address, a wallet address, not a centralized exchange address, a wallet address in your Trust wallet. Your Trust wallet, remember, you never used your details to register. Just register from that part and receive your money from that. If you want to liquidate that, this is Kenya. Buy a Binance account with a different identity and always liquidate from that part like that. I'll have to cut that part out before I post it on YouTube. I'm finished talking, then I've recognized the bad thing I'm saying. But anyway, yeah. So if no questions, I'll end this class at this part. We meet tomorrow for mastermind. And Pius, you have a question?
Yeah.
Pardon? I can't quite hear you. It's like you're lying on the speaker.
Does it mean that if I want to buy a certain coin in the spot market, I can buy it in the do investment at a lower price and get that interest instead of buying the spot of which I won't get any interest?
Yes, that's the advantage of do an investment. On spot, you also remember even spot, you buy low and sell high. That's the intention of spot trading or buy and hold. So, but in this case, the period, imagine having your 100 USDT just sitting in your spot wallet, waiting for the day BTC will get to the price that you want so that you can buy. Other than doing that, just go to your dual invest and commit that 100 USDT so that over that period that you're waiting for BTC to get to that specific price that you are targeting, you can be earning some rewards. Is that okay, Pius?
Yeah.
Yeah, if no other questions, I'll end this class here. Tomorrow for master nodes, that's the last thing we'll cover. From this class, then we look at Bitcoin mining. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good night.
Fine, thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Good night.